Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And today we're going to be sharing, I'm going to be sharing what I accomplished in January's Yarn Bingo. I did get a bingo this time. Yarn Bingo, the one that I participate in, is hosted over on Facebook. Robin Kirkpatrick has been doing our cards for a little over a year now, but this was started by Llama Mama Kayla. I will leave Robin's channel and Kayla's channel linked in the description box down below, as well as having a link for the Facebook group. Come join us and have fun. Robin posts the cards on her Facebook or on the Facebook group and on her YouTube channel every single month. So let's dive right on in. If you've never been here for one of my Yarn Bingo videos, I just go across the row and tell you guys what I actually got. And you can see I do kind of plan ahead sometimes, and things don't work out. That was my Advent shawl. I did not get it finished. I'm on the next to the last color. I've done a lot of knitting this month, and knitting takes me a lot longer than crocheting does. So, all right. Oh, by the way, I'm filming this much earlier. So there may be a little variance. Like there's certain things, like I haven't bound off my socks yet, but I know they'll be bound off by the time the first rolls around. But all right, create something for Valentine's Day that's not red, pink, or purple. That was kind of hard, but oddly enough, I did have something that kind of qualifies, and that would be my hummingbird cowl. It does have some pink in it, but that's not the primary color. And I'm halfway, let's see, 2, 4, 6, a little over halfway done. I'm about 9 inches into 12 inches of the center, and then I'll have 4 inches at the bottom left to do. But it's flowers, so it's kind of springy, Valentine's Day-ish, but it's not pink or purple or red. It was a little bit harder. That was a harder one to do. I've almost finished using the first 200 grams that I took upstairs. Next up is finish a whip, and that is the matching hat to go with that cowl. So these are sort of kind of based off the measurements of the sock head hat and beanie if you're interested, but they're, because this is a different weight yarn and everything, and I did do my own decrease up here for the hat, they're different. But if you're looking to see, you know, kind of where I'm getting my measurements for the length I'm knitting, that's where I'm getting those from. So that is that. I've only made my fair share of the sockhead sets at this point. Share a pattern for Valentine's Day. So I shared this in the Facebook group. It was a heart dishy pattern. So pop over to the Facebook group to check out what I shared over there. Create something from a YouTube channel. So I didn't think I was going to get this done. And then I decided to participate in Jada and Stitch's 2022 Tunisian crochet. They go this way. Tunisian crochet blanket. That's my cast on side. So I am doing the blocks, but I think I'm going to do my own thing with joining them, and I'll take a look at her bordering technique. She's doing 1 for each month. I'm doing 2 for each month. So far, all I've used are scraps, because it's only the 2 scraps from my fall 2021 blanket that I made using my Circle and Granny pattern. That is also a tutorial here. I can leave that in the iCard if you're interested in that block. But I am just using my scraps from that so far, or my leftovers. They're not really scraps. Scraps to me are what you have to ball up. Leftovers are open skeins or single skeins left over from an intentional project. So I'm really using leftovers, not scraps. The scraps have already been put into other scrap gans that have been going on now for more than a year. Y'all didn't need to know all that. It's never too early to do something for St. Patrick's Day. So we have a green coaster. This is using Premier Home Cotton in Pickle Splash, which is my favorite color of this yarn. I don't know why I love this yarn so much, but I do. I have other of the Splash collection. I love the Pickle Splash. I don't know why. I like green. I have zero issue with green, but for some reason, I'm in love with that green. Finish a WIP. I did a yellow coaster. I think that's the right one. Yeah. Same stitch. It's actually using a different one of my tutorials, which is for the third loop half double crochet third loop half double crochet dishcloth. All right, row 3. Save your yarn wrappers from your projects. Let's see how much yarn you went through in the month of January. So my ball bands were not a lot this month. I've been working very heavily from my Advent box from 2021. I unboxed that in the month of January. So a lot of what I've been working on have actually been unballed yarns. And I have been kind of trying to focus my attention a lot on the WIPs left over from 2021. So I really didn't have that many ball bands this month. I think it was 5, but the picture, you can count. There weren't that many to count, but it was like 5 or 6. It really wasn't that many. Next spot was free space. So row 4, blanket in progress. So on the whole, working on things from 2021. I am still trying to finish this last blanket for one of the kinders in my family. And it's been very hard to pick up for whatever reason. There's no, I mean, I love the yarn and I'm loving the project, but this is just a corner to corner blanket to mimic the UNC Tar Heels colorway. I'm doing 2 rows of the, well, random rows of the light blue, 2 rows of the dark blue, 5 rows of the gray, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 rows of the gray, 2 rows of the blue, random of the light blue. And I think it's just where I have to keep stopping to count. But I'm on the last row of this section of blue, so I go back to my breakup little pattern there. I'm hoping to have this done by the end of the month, though. It really should not have taken me this long, since I think I started this in October of 2021. I have zero excuses for why this has taken so long. It just hasn't been what I wanted to work on, but it would have been the perfect thing to be working on because I've really needed mindless projects recently. All right. I took my hook out and I'm not worried about ripping the stitches out, but I don't want to separate my hook from my project again, because that would give me an excuse to not work on it tonight. I have been getting a row or 2 done every time I sit down with it. So I should finish this row up tonight and at least get the next band of dark blue done. And I'm like right there. I'm 6 inches from turning the next corner. So I mean, I'm real close to finishing this blanket. It doesn't look like it, but I am real close to finishing this blanket. Anyway, work on a project from your project stash. So this project has been sitting in my queue of things. I wore the wrong shirt for this. Should have worn a black shirt film. I have had this sweater pattern in my queue to make for a long time now. And I've had the yarn in my stash now for at least a year. But I don't know how much y'all can see. It still needs to be blocked. I do have the front panel done. Like I said, this thing is going to be huge. I'm really wondering if I ought to frog out my front panel. I mean, it actually will go up here. It's a drop sleeve style cut. I mean, I don't know. I've already started the back, but I'm on this is the longest part, to be honest. I'm still on this part. But yeah, so this is a project that I've had in my queue for a long time and yarn that's been in my stash for at least a year. Next, work on a project that will take you a year to make. So that would be my Cozy Murder Mystery Cal for 2022. This is hosted by Christy Hudson over at T-Doddles. If you are familiar with my channel at all, you know how much I talk about Christy and T-Doddles and her wonderful bags and how much fun I had doing 2021's make along. But I am using leftover balls from the blanket I made my dad a couple years ago to do this. I think I already know who I want to give this to. So it's going to be 5.5 feet, obviously, since I'm almost fingertip to fingertip. It's going to be 5.5 feet by 5.5 feet as written. So I am adding a few extra rows in at random, partially to keep the color strips widely varied. Also to add a little extra length, because I do want this to be closer to 6 feet long when it's done. But I am enjoying this so far. So that will be my year-long project this year. Finish a whip. I got to go grab it from across the room. So y'all look at the yarn wall for just a second. All right, so finish a whip. This is my Cozy Murder Mystery Cal blanket from 2021. I have shared this in a show and tell video, but these were just a whole bunch of random yarns. I think this is actually backwards, but you get the idea, I think. It's hard to tell on some of these because some of these, the textures, nope, this is the right way. But this is just random. I did 2 squares every month. I did 1 variegated and 1 solid. So this is 4x6 squares. And we're right at 5.5 feet long. Very snuggly. All randoms. No repeats. I love how this turned out. I still haven't decided if I'm going to keep it, gift it, or donate it, but I do love how it turned out. I love my wild, weird things. All right, last row, finish a whip. So this is one of the weird ones. This will be finished by the 1st, but technically is not finished as of showing it. I need to bind off my Advent socks. So that's all I have left to do with these is just bind these off and they will be done. But I need an afternoon to just sit down, have quiet, peace. And I will probably do the sewn bind off on those. So I do actually need like la 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 for a few minutes. Share a shawl pattern, right? Yep, share a free shawl pattern. So in the Facebook group, I did share the Witching Hour shawl. You guys know that was kind of my shawl of 2021 and will probably be the shawl of 2022. It will make another appearance, I'm sure. It is a free pattern. It is a great pattern. I love making it. It works up really quickly and it gives you this nice drapey heavy stitch. Create something for donation. So I had just enough yarn left out of those scraps still to make a 3rd coaster. So I did make a 3rd coaster. This time I did something a little different. There is no pattern for it. It didn't work out like I really wanted it to, but it looks fine. Like I keep telling my husband, it's like, it looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it in the finished project. It was just wonky to make. I didn't enjoy making it. So there we go. There are our projects for January's Yarn Bingo. I did get 1 bingo. I was just off from a couple others. And if I gotten these 2 in that one, then would have had those 2 too. So I look forward to seeing what Robin puts up for February's Yarn Bingo. I'm really bad at the holiday things, stuff like that. I'm great at sharing patterns and finishing whips, but some of the more specific ones I'm not always as great with. The purpose to Yarn Bingo is not to finish the squares. It's just to see as you're working along. It's one of those weird tracking things that kind of help you to like see what you're really doing sometimes, or give you inspiration for what to do if you hit a wall with your crochet. So If you decide to join us, don't feel like you have to get a blackout every month or something, or try to get as many bingos as possible. This is supposed to be a tool to be fun and to help you craft and stay productive in crafting and enjoying crafting, trying new things and seeing new things. Not, you must do this. It's not a task list. It's just for fun. All right, you guys, take care. As always, I love you, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye, guys.